People calling me a guru, a spiritual man, why did they fast to you? I don't know, the people that have been coming to see me all these years are only seekers. You see, anything I say naturally, they interpret in terms of their reference of framework, which is what it is. Yeah. And however hard I try and emphasize that what I have come to has no religious content at all. And somehow it doesn't interest them at all. See, they still think that that I fit into their framework. Yeah. And see, that is, it's not the individuals, but the traditional framework that is there cannot tolerate anything outside of it. It has to make it part of itself.
Yeah, but I expect that human because they probably ask you questions which are fundamentally important, and the only people who so far hazarded guesses about it are people who dabble in spirituality, and other people who haven't really either totally rejected it like Bertrand Russell.
No, it's not that when I say that God is irrelevant, it does not mean that I'm an atheist or even an agnostic. So if some of them still insist on calling me a God man, it's an insult to God and an insult to me. So for centuries we have been using God as an instrument of power and used it to destroy life and property. I point out to many of the people that the thieves have not done any harm, they have not destroyed anything. Only those people who believe in God have destroyed life and property. So they sometimes throw this at me, what about communism? Communism. You see, I will tell you that communism is a warty outgrowth of the religious thinking of man. But they destroyed a lot of people for a political ideology, not in the name of God, but when the church stood in the way of achieving their political goals, they had to destroy and suppress all the religious elements in the country. So they're still not satisfied, but we leave God to the theologians, let them go on discussing the ontological, teleological, cosmological truths of the existence of God. But God at a particular time in the history of mankind was an extension of the same survival mechanism. You know what I don't know if you are the one that can bring out something from me.
Excuse me, but there is a phone call for you from Bombay. Yes. Wait, Sharma.
That's secondary secretary. Hello? Hello? Yes? I can't hear you. Can you speak louder? Yes, speaking. Yes. Yes. I'm not likely to come to Bombay. I'm going to Bangalore on Sunday. Huh? Will it be possible for you to call me after an hour? Yes, because I'm with a friend who is come to flying cost. Huh? Gita? Yes.
That's my wife, sir.
Yes.
She likes
Coffee? No, I don't understand you. I'm not very clear. Will you please call me after an hour? No, don't do any such thing. You call me after an hour. Yes, please. Thank you. You really want to come here?
Yeah.
No.
Even if you're in the bathroom, he wants to talk to you.
No. She's violent, it seems, and I must see you, Jesus. I don't want to see her. And you see, anything I will tell her will have no effect on her. She has to have medicine. She doesn't want to take medicine. That is number one. And second thing is the mother. She is pushing her to do everything possible to go back to her career and to do everything possible to reduce her weight. They are
This is
a little hobby. So there's not much that I can do. I did the best I could do to her when she was with me in Switzerland and in the United States. But suddenly she disappeared. I don't know, but what can I do? I'm not running a clinic for all these mentally disturbed people.
Such a great city. She's such a beautiful woman.
Such a beautiful woman.
I must have had her own
I see.
charm, and now it's suddenly
I've seen the photos where you express, boy.
heartbreaking.
Really heartbreaking. It's really.
Let me come back to the subject where we
So, let me first make a very brief, I don't like to call it a statement. One or two, what's the word? You see, statements? Observations, you see. And what I have come to is something extraordinary for me. You know? I was born in this country, it was an accident. I was thrown into a very rich family, it was an accident. You see, it made it very easy for me to pursue whatever I wanted to pursue. I was thrown into a very religious atmosphere, you see. That was also an accident. See, my grandfather happened to be a member of the Theosophical Society. He knew the founders of the Theosophical Society, Blavatsky and Oscar, my mother's father. And then I knew all the second generation, third generation leaders of the Theosophical Society. And it may sound very strange to you, I lived with murderers, rapists, conmen, masterminds, spiritual teachers, godmen. Not all during the course of my 72 years of life, at least during the first 49 years of life. And I traveled all over the world, practically every country in the world except China. For some reason I didn't go there, now I don't care at all. And I grew up in such an atmosphere. I found, see, the dichotomy is the word in what they believe and what they say. My makeup was such a strange makeup. Genetically, I was programmed that way to question everything ever since I was a little boy. By the time I was 7, God went out of my system and I never entered the temple afterwards. Afterwards, I realized that, see, the interest in enlightenment, interest in God moksha, liberation, freedom, and what Krishnamurti talked about, the transformation, radical transformation, meditation of mind, etc. All is the extension of the same thing, variations of the same thing. So I actually and factually I did not in any way free myself from the whole idea of God. But I am pursuing the same thing on a different level, which is nothing but an extension of the same pleasure movement, I consider that. But then I switched over to the Western science, philosophies, and the whole thing. See, I got involved with the Theosophical Society because of my background. I became a very active participant. By the time I was 24, I was elected as the Joint Secretary of the Theosophical Society in India, national lecturer, international lecturer. But this question, you see, always bothered me, intrigued me. So I cannot call all these people hypocrites. What is wrong with what they believe in? Why there is this dichotomy in their lives? Maybe the source may be wrong, you see. All the teachers of mankind, particularly the spiritual teachers of mankind, con themselves and con the whole of mankind. I have to find out for myself. I have no way of finding out anything for myself. As long as I depended upon somebody, I remained helpless, you know. So I found that, you see, whatever I wanted was what they wanted me to want. Whatever I thought, whatever they wanted me to think, there was no way out, you see, of this, you know. It went on and went on and on and on. Somewhere along the line, something hit me, because there is nothing there to be transformed. nothing there to be changed, there is no mind there is no self to realize, what the hell have I been doing? That thought hit me like the shaft of a lightning, you see. Or you see, an earthquake shattered the whole thing and destroyed everything that was there. All the cultural input, you see, that freed me in a very strange way. Everything, every man thought, felt and experienced before. In a sort of way, destroyed totally the mind, which is nothing but the totality of man's experiences and thoughts, and even the identity. See, identity is nothing but a cultural input there. So there was nothing there to be free from, you know. What I was left with is something extraordinary here, tremendous living organism, pulsating with life, freed from the stranglehold of the whole culture, you know. So I tried to express it. The only people I had around me was all the Krishnamurti freaks or Rajneesh devotees, those who were completely not totally disillusioned with their gurus, you know, only that kind of people I had around me. And so everything I said, they interpreted in terms of their religious thinking. You are also an enlightened man. For some reason, we don't understand why you are giving expression to this in this strange way. What you say is bad enough, how you say it is worse, that was there. But yet they could not brush me aside. And then you see, somewhere along the line I realized that I am an active, direct participant in this kind of a thing. People interpreting what I am saying in the religious terms. And so maybe I should find some way, some medium through which I can express myself. And people said suddenly, why have you gone public? You see, I never went out of the place, never gave lectures, never bothered even to accept the invitations of the televisions in the United States. So suddenly I decided maybe I should use that medium to express myself. You see, I don't even have the impetus to express myself, and I need you to express myself, you see. So you may say that I'm using you to express myself, but that doesn't matter. So let me try to see those people who are just entertainers, you know, who want to entertain themselves, and talk to the unseen public. Maybe it will hit somebody somewhere, and it will help him to understand, you see, what the actual situation is. So that's the reason why, you see, I suddenly decided to go on several talk shows in the United States, and very popular radio interviews, and then very recently I gave an interview to San Francisco Chronicle, and you may have heard the magazine Omni, and trying to find out some way I can express myself. But you see, they ask me why you are doing that. Do you still feel that you have a message for mankind? I don't have any message for mankind at all. But why am I breathing? You see, this is the only reality I have. And let me try to express myself and find out the situation in which we find ourselves today. And so that's the only reason why I see people and talk to them. And every time I have a chance, I go on the television and give an interview. Last time when I was here, Mr. Rajiv Malhotra interviewed me on the Indian television. And so what I want to say to anybody who is interested in this, somewhere along the line, the human consciousness felt this self-consciousness. When I use the word self, you see, I don't mean that there is a self there, that there is a center there. That separated him from the totality of things, you see. And he was a frightened man. So he turned everything, you see, into something uncontrollable, into some divine cosmic thing and worship. It was in that frame of mind, quote unquote, he created God. He created, see, the whole rest of it. And culture is responsible for that, you see. I maintain that all the political institutions, all the political ideologies we have today are the outgrowths of the same religious thinking of man. So all the spiritual teachers in a way are responsible for the tragedy of mankind. We have come to a point where we have to ask different kind of questions and find out if there is anything that we can do to stop, you see, the way the whole world is moving. If the world has to, or the mankind, humanity has to free itself from the chaos of its own making, there must be some other way that man can come up with, you see, and see what he can do. As I see it, the whole thing is heading in a direction where there is no way that we can stop it or reverse the whole thing. We are doomed, as it were, to free itself from the chaos of its own making. There must be some other way that man can come up with, you see, and see what he can do. As I see it, the whole thing is heading in a direction where there is no way that we can stop it or reverse the whole thing. We are doomed, as it were. And why is this concern to talk to somebody? Why is it that I'm not interested in seeing really saving anything. Nobody has asked me to save. You see, as a matter of fact, I very strongly feel that the world has to be saved from all the saviors of mankind, you know. So individually there seems to be nothing that we can do to change anything, see, to alter anything, to reverse anything. And collectively means what, you see. So the task that is facing us is that we have unfortunately placed these politicians in the seat of power. The political consciousness is all that we are left with. And if religious people are still trying, you see, to talk in terms of reviving this, that and the other cultural heritage of India, the Ramarajya, and if politicians use that is only to win, you see, the elections and win the people over to them. But if we think in terms of, you see, reviving something that is dead, we don't have any future to think of, you see. So that is why when people ask me, what do you think of Gorbachev? Gorbachev is a traitor to the cause of communism. Millions and millions of people have died for the cause of communism. And if he is looking to the West for the solutions of the problems, the failure of communism, something is wrong. See, the answers have to be found within that framework and not look to the West, which is in no better condition to offer him anything except, you see, sell McDonald's or, Kentucky Fried Chicken or sell organically grown potatoes to make chips there. In Russia, actually, it is not our ideas of freedom, ideas of humanity that changed there. It was Pepsi-Cola that conquered Russia. And it was Coca-Cola that had a tremendous impact on China. But these people don't want to listen to this kind of a thing. So, what do we do in this given situation? I sing my song and go. So if we do not do something, what I'm trying to say is the thought has a tremendous control, you see, over us. You see, thought in its birth, in its content, in its expression, and in its action is fascist. So it wants to control everything there. And thought is not the instrument that will help us to solve the problems that we have created. We only can ask questions and find out if there are any answers individually. See, collectively means, you see, I have one idea, you have another idea. There is going to be a battle between those things. So, the identity that we have created, that the culture has created in us, is the most important factor which we have to consider, you see. So, if we continue to give importance to the identity, which is the product of culture, we are going to end up in an Alzheimer's disease. You see, we are putting memory to use, the brain to use for which it is not intended. You know? So memory does not mean remembering what we studied there. Now computers will do a better job, calculators will do a better job. The constant maintenance of our identity is possible only through the constant use of memory. That is wearing out this human organism and will leave us with very little energy So we will not be able to deal with the problems of the world. And so ultimately, now you must have read the statistics published recently in American magazines. 1 in 3 in the 60 age group is affected by the Alzheimer's disease. That means total, complete destruction of mind and identity. In the 80 group, 1 in 2. And 600,000 people in England are affected by this. Out of them, there are 2 Nobel Prize winners, hundreds and thousands of people in Germany. We don't have any record of these people who are affected by that disease, you see. So that may be the nature's way of turning us all into vegetables and recreate something. I'm hazarding an opinion of mine which is as ridiculous as the opinion of anybody. I have said my piece and then
I go along with you. Most of what you said, but there still remains the demolition job, the clearing of the cobwebs, and all of those, because they have all these purveyors of religion and government have really
they are doing more harm than good. Every time a God man appears on the scene, is adding momentum.
Yeah.
And we are slowly moving in the direction of destroying ourselves.
I believe it.
Yes. Not that we all become anti-God or destroy the temples, burn this. You see, when I talk of a total anarchy, it is a state of being, it's not a state of doing at all. See, there is no action there. So maybe out of that something new. See, now they are talking of this Helen, you heard that, of the volcano there on the west coast of the United States, new forms of life are springing. So something like that, maybe you see something new will spring. You see, not that I am concerned about the future of mankind, humanity, because I go with it. You see, and who has given me the mandate to save mankind? I am part of this. You see, look here, see the way we are. You are interested in this. He who is talking of changing the world, as far as I am concerned, I am in perfect harmony with the world exactly the way it is. You see, I am not in conflict. See. So it cannot be anything different. But you are the guys who want to change the whole thing into a better world, into a happier world. I don't see how it is possible for us to create things through war. I don't see any possibility there, you see. So these are all the questions which individuals have to ask for themselves and ask questions which have never been asked before. Because all the questions which we are asking are born out of the answers we already have. So the only way out for all these people is go back to the great heritage of India. If we are the products of the great heritage of India, we cannot be proud of the great heritage of India. If this is what we have done, if we are what we are, what is there to be proud of the great heritage of India? Why do you want us to go back, revive something which has failed us, you see? So what do we do in such a situation? What is the answer? Maybe you have an answer, he has an answer, he has an answer. I am asking them, see, since you are the ones that are trying to bring about a change in you, there is nothing there to be changed. As long as you are interested in bringing about a change in you, you talk in terms of bringing about a change in you. So once you are freed from the demand to bring about any change in you, the demand to bring about a change in the world also comes to an end. So this is what I do when people come. I don't sit on a platform and harangue and say that we say, I have the one and the only revolution, only one and the only revolution is nothing but a bogus revolution. All revolutions are nothing but revaluation of our value systems. We replace one system with another system. But basically it is not much different from the other systems. So,
there still remains this hankering to know. I reject God, I will not. Yet I don't have the answer. The simple question, what's all this about? Why are we here? What will happen to us when we die? Well, my only answer is I don't know. But now, that doesn't satisfy me. That's why they turn to people like you and say...
Right, they come here and I say, go back to your gurus, they will give you some comfort. Stay.
So they spin yarns which don't make sense to a rational human being.
But if they don't want to solve their problems, what is it that I can do?
It's not a problem. It's a simple question of wanting to know the way of the beginning. the self and the...
Don't you think that that is really the problem? Wanting to know? Wanting to know is the one that has created this identity.
We can't suppress it.
No, I'm not asking to suppress it. That may not be the answer for it. Knowing more and more is only strengthening and fortifying the very thing which has not helped us to solve the problem individually or collectively. I'm only asking that question. You see, knowing is not something mysterious, mystical. To know that this is a chair, you see, we have to accept the reality of the world as it is imposed on us to function sanely and intelligently. Although it is questionable, it's functional in its way.
No, knowing a concrete object is one thing. It is the question that's posed by Adi Shankara. Where did it come from? In very simple language. I don't.
No, but that question is irrelevant to me because it doesn't in any way help us to understand the situation we find ourselves in. Because you see, that moment of thought is interested in establishing a relationship between the cause and effect.
Would you dismiss the question?
I would dismiss the question because the question is there because of the assumption that there is a cause for everything. See, to me, every event is an independent event. A friend of mine, Mr. Mahesh Bhatt, one of the directors, he has signed a contract with Penguins, I think, to write a biography of his friend Krishnamurti. I said there is no story to tell. I am telling that whatever has happened to me is a causal. Whatever has happened to me has happened despite everything I did. So all those events are independent events, and we would like to link them up all together and create a story. Or create some philosophical structure out of that and say, see, every event in your life is not an accident as you put it, but some destiny there is shaping your events and shaping your life. So I don't see that is the way we are functioning. So this very demand to know the cause of our own origins or the cause of the origin of the world is a very ideal question for which the answers, however interesting they may be, are of no importance to us to deal with the problems of living.
Would you say the same about the question about after death? What happens? What does it mean to die? What is it?
Because we do not want to come to terms with the fact that we have lived 70, 80 years of life. We have achieved all this. With death, is that all coming to an end? So, see, our not wanting to accept the fact that that is the end, we project beyond and create all kinds of fantasies. So my answer to that question is, what do you think is there now, which will continue after the dissolution of this body? As far as the body is concerned, it has neither the birth nor death. So what we call death is nothing but a reshuffling of the atoms. And this reshuffling of atoms take place for the simple reason that the level of energy in this universe has to be maintained. If for some any reason there is a lowering of the level of energy, millions and millions of people will be wiped out, either through catastrophic events we call it. Nothing catastrophic there. You see, earthquake is as much a necessity, as much a part of, you see, this planetary activity as anything else. But it is no comfort to us. You see, we have lost our properties, we have lost our near and dear ones. The hurricane here destroyed large sections of North Carolina. But what is its place in the scheme of things, we really don't know. See, so to try to find out the answers for those questions is nothing but a dialectical thinking about thinking itself. It is not going to help to solve the problems which we are facing today.
I can see that. Yes, thinking of answering to find out because one property that this is a hoax.
Yes, our unwillingness to accept that is the end. Because there is no end for this, there is no beginning and there is no end. That's not the way these things are happening in nature. Everything that is born is destroyed. See, birth and death is a simultaneous process. You know, when once the continuity of thought or the demand to experience the same thing over and over and over again, to maintain what we call the identity is not there, the way the thought is taking its birth and then you see dissolving itself into the form of energy, that is the way the life is. It's not that I have a special insight into the nature's laws or any such thing. But whatever we discover, the nature's laws are being used for destruction. What little benefit we get is benefiting only a negligible percentage of the people on this planet, and it is not circulating to the level of the common man. Why are we so tremendously impressed by all the scientific research? We can give them Nobel Prizes, we can give them prestigious awards, but how is it going to affect the common man? You see, his lot has remained. Every time somebody comes and knocks on the door of my car, go to your Prime Minister. He is there. You elected him and put him there to feed you, to clothe you, to shelter you. You know, if I give you charity, it's the most vulgar thing. You see, if I do something, it is my self-fulfillment. It is a do-goodness high that I feel. Instead of accepting the fact that I'm a self-centered man, we are not doing anything to solve the problem. You will ask me, what are you doing? See, that's a natural question that all these people throw at me. So I am not here, see, I am not working for this country. You are the people that I have not been any way influenced by the idea of nationalism, the idea of patriotism, of any of that stuff that the teachers taught us in the school. I learned precious little from either the secular teachers or the spiritual teachers, you know, except the basic things that I needed to learn. You know, although I lived with the masterminds, products of Oxford, Cambridge, you know that my English is so bad. No sentence is complete. Even there I have not been in any way been benefited by being with those people, you know. So in that sense, why are we asking these questions, you know? I can only ask these questions.
Well, why I ask is because taking the framework of faith, those who believe in God, life hereafter, they find themselves in a jam and one asks them about the presence of injustice in the world, the presence of truth. God can't be all powerful and all just if He is your God. I don't believe in my simple answer is I don't know, and I'm hoping something will tell me. That's why I seek God.
Any answers that you are not satisfactory answers?
They don't satisfy me.
Not only you, if it doesn't satisfy the existence, answer the existence of poverty, misery. If you 42 years of freedom, you still can't blame the British for this kind of. What is wrong, you see? So I even tell, not that I have become a part, blow up the whole thing. See, they don't even have the energy to blow up the whole thing. Because you raised generations in this country on the belief that there is, you see, a reincarnation. You did something terrible in your past life, so you enjoy your misery, your degradation, your poverty in this life, and hope for the best in your life. So what we have done, they don't even have the energy to do it. You see, so what is the point in you see, feeling sorry for them? See, for centuries they have been brainwashed to believe. So you have no way of testing the validity of the truth of the statements of these people, God-men, telling us that he was the Satya Sai Baba, Siddhi Sai Baba in his previous life, and he is Satya Sai Baba today, and in his next life he is going to be Prem Sai Baba. How the hell we are going to test? I am not going to be there to test the way. If you want to believe, that's why I say those people who ask these questions about reincarnation, there is reincarnation for those who believe in it. There is no reincarnation for those who do not believe in it. But is there any such thing as reincarnation in nature as we have the laws of gravity and under the laws of nature? No. As far as I am concerned, no. So, if you believe, you see, so people want to believe and need to believe. There is not much left you can do about it. Probably that is consoling and comforting to them.
Well, there is still a problem, you reject, I will say, reincarnation. Means there's no basis for me. when I talk of prevalence of injustice, not what injustice man has brought for man.
That is worse than, you see, the nature has provided us plenty here on this planet.
No, but there is an injustice in the scheme of things when a child is born defective.
Yes.
And the other. Now, there it is not the human.
The explanation that it's because of, you see, something that the reincarnation business is a comforting thing. It is a drug to face the situation.
But yet, how does anyone answer the birth of a Mongol child to God fearing?
We don't know. We don't have any satisfactory answer. If some clever chappy come up with this kind of an answer, that is whatever is the reason in his past life, whatever it is, it's a comforting thing for him.
Well, I just bullshit.
Yeah, I do. So do I. So, but what about that fellow? He believes in that kind of a thing. It's a comforter for him. You might have to take a drug and forget about the whole thing for some time.
Well, the Marx was right about people like that. It was an opiate.
Yes, it is. It is still, you see, even it is still, you see, an opium, you know. But there is a relief from that opium.
Yeah.
This is what I'm saying. You see, the chemistry of the body cannot tolerate all these meditation gimmicks. You see, the far more these techniques that we use, you see, to put ourselves to sleep. Through meditation, through all these gimmicks that these people, the gurus and godmen are selling, shoddy piece of goods in the spiritual market, are more damaging than, you see, alcohol, nicotine or any other thing. See, there is something that you can do it is doing lasting damage to the chemistry of this body. So, but still people, you see, put themselves to sleep. You see, there is a market for that kind of a thing. They are all supplying, see, stuff. So it's not my interest to free them from all these people, gurus or godmen. You see, I'm not interested. This friend of mine, you can stay in hell, rot in hell. I will not even lift my little finger because you love your hell. You see, you stay there because you think one day you are going to turn the whole thing into a heaven. It is the idea of creating heaven on this planet is the one that is responsible for turning the whole thing into heaven. There is no hell here. It's a tremendous thing that nature has done for us. It's given us bounty. If what they say is true, we can feed without the help of technical know-how. 12 billion people. Why? How is it that 3 billion people out of 5 billion people are underfed? This is not only here in the United States. How do you explain first the slums in the United States, the starvation in the United States, people who have no homes there? It may be justifiable here in a poor country, but there is no justification for that kind of a thing in what is supposed to be the world's richest country. You have freedom to starve there. That's the only freedom that I find. They don't like what I say. I think I have talked all the time.
Well, that's the whole idea.
So do you think any useful purpose? I think you're advice. You are a wise man. Any purpose to be served? Yesterday I said it also appeared in the paper. I don't want to talk to Krishnamurti widows, Rajneesh divorces and religious loves of all shapes, sizes and colors. And one of my friends said, what is left for you? The scientists don't want to listen to me. I meet many scientists, psychologists there in the United States, top ones. What you say is true, Yuji, but we want to believe that you are wrong. We want to believe that you are wrong. Because it is undermining the very foundation of human thought and culture. You are a threat to our culture. You are a threat to science. You are destroying everything that man has built with care. Thank God you are doing it in the four walks. If you do it on the platform, we'll liquidate you in no time. Maybe I'm not.
I think it needs to be done.
Do you think it needs to be said or not?
I'm very strong.
Yes.
Well, in my own way, my way,
Is they able to listen to me or not? I sing my song and while 72 years old, I may not live long. You know.
Well,
they can't do anything for me. They might probably put me, what do you call, roller treatment and make me say that.
How old are you?
I'm 75.
Oh, you're older than you are wise.
I say that whenever people ask me, I said the closer I get to the time to meet my maker, the less I believe in him.
There may not be anything. Somebody asked me, a very wise man, Swami, you know, in India they believe Manava Janma Durlabham. It's not an easy duty. I said, why was I born? He thought that I would give a profound discourse, a religious discourse. I said, your parents made love.
Yes.
What is so marvelous, and why are you asking me that question? You see, he got up. Horrible.
He wanted something very complicated.
Very complicated answer is quoting from the scriptures, and this is Manava Janma Durlabham. Very nice to have met you. You have given me some courage to go on. I was despairing about it. Because
I think it's sad, this country sadly needs.
They don't want to heal you. They don't want to heal.
But you'd be surprised how many do.
Yes.
I don't have the same power, the gifts that you have.
What do you mean?
I spoke to the Delhi University only last year and denounced all manner of and the students responded with such enthusiasm. And with all this fundamentalism and moral belief, the response was very heartwarming.
That's how you put it. Right?
But I think it needs to be said, and I think the larger number of young people want the cobwebs to be cleared out of their mind. They must be here to think for themselves. This is written in the paper, this is written in the Shastra. Quoting.
Said one thing, it's later the whole Vedic culture came out of the advocates. I said, you don't want to listen to that. You see, they were drinking so much and experienced all kinds of things. And share those experiences with us. You see, that is my answer to the sacred Vedic culture. I'm a Brahmin. I studied all these things. It's not know. I did my philosophy not only in this, Advaita Vedanta, Shankara, that was my special subject. I am a dropout. I didn't take my degree.
I taught comparative religion at Princeton.
Yes, what do you know?
And the more I taught,
Yes, I made money by giving 4 lectures on the essential unity of religions in the University of Washington, St. Louis.
Yeah.
$400. That's all it was useful for.
But it didn't make me turn the slightest bit from agnosticism. Well, that's the only word I could use.
Yeah, well, we are on the fence, you see.
Is there a spare copy of that book?
Yes, you can take it.
Somebody picked mine up. I gave it.
You know something I'll tell you. He sent me this small piece you wrote in a Sunday or something. Everybody quoted from that in my TV interviews in the United States.
Yes, I think I saw one method.
I had great trouble.
Because that's making love with war.
They quoted those passages which you spotlight. Oh boy, you know. I'm illiterate. I don't. How can you ask for that?
Well, it adds my children made.
No, thank you. No, thank you. No. Thank you very much. Even this is forged, I tell you. I refused this, you must have seen this one. Here, not in this, the other book, UG, they put it there. They forged it from one of my letters. This book has been translated into Chinese, Russian, Polish, all kinds of languages.
Well, I think mine was picked up by Mr. PM Khanna, General Manager, Telephones. He never gave it back. He is, well, can you drop me?
Yes.